Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. 13 Strings has their next concert coming up on October the 18th. It is called Mirage, and joining that concert is one of Canada's leading percussionists, Beverley Johnston, and she joins us here on Daytime. Welcome to the show, Beverley. Wonderful to have you.
Thanks for having me here.
Beverley, let's introduce you to our viewers here at Rogers TV. For those that aren't familiar with you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a percussionist, and what that means is I make my living from hitting things, basically. And I've been doing it for many years now. And I was actually born and raised in Montreal, and I had a really fantastic high school music teacher, and I've never looked back from there. He convinced me, Bev, you should go into music. And so I studied at the University of Toronto and started working in Toronto, and then developed a bit of a solo career as time went on, started commissioning works by Canadian composers, and basically that's it. I teach at the University of Toronto, which I love doing to impart some knowledge about how to hit things. So there you go.
Beverley, what drew you to percussion in particular?
The fact that you could make a sound immediately. In high school, all the instruments were demonstrated, and percussion was just hands-on. You hit it, and boom. There's a sound.
I love it. Yeah.
And also the variety. The variety of sound is incredible. I've played anything you can hit, rub, or shake, and it's all fair game in the percussion world.
I love it. I think a lot of people, when they hear percussion, the first thing that comes to mind is drumming, and maybe they think, rock and roll and blues and jazz. Tell us a little bit about the styles that you play.
Well, this ties in actually to this concert that I'm doing on October 18th. I'm playing an instrument called a vibraphone, and the styles that I play are mostly classical contemporary music styles, but this concert I'm playing a transcription of a piece by Antonio Vivaldi, originally written for violin, so it's very Baroque oriented. But the vibraphone is typically known for jazz music, and the piece I'm playing by Canadian composer Christos Hatsis has that element of jazz in the piece combined with more classical contemporary style. And I'm also playing in Christos's piece what is called cloud gongs. They're discs about this size that are tuned, and they're made out of metal. So it adds a little different flavor sound to the mix.
You mentioned, Vivaldi and that the piece was originally written for violin. How difficult is it to take an instrument like violin and a piece that's specifically written for that and use percussion all of a sudden?
Well, it's not difficult at all. It's more of a transcription than an arrangement, because basically the violin, and you just play it on the keyboard percussion instrument. The keyboard percussion instrument is set up much like a piano keyboard. So you just play the notes on the page. And when I've played transcriptions like that with an orchestra, the string section often says, wow, you're so in tune, because the difficulty with playing a string instrument is actually tuning the instrument. On a vibraphone. The bars are there, and there's no tuning involved. They're just there. But you have to hit the right notes.
Yes, of course. Beverley, as part of this particular concert, it's also a CD release, is it not?
It is, yes, and composer John Burge has a piece on the concert, and I think that's a part of the CD that the 13 Strings has. I've worked with John before. He's an amazing composer. I think he lives in Kingston, and so the piece that they're playing is a jig from the Upper Canada Fiddle Suite. So it's going to be lots of fiddling and percussing on this concert.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, and let's talk 13 Strings. I mean, I told you before we went to air that, we're very familiar with 13 Strings here at Daytime and at Rogers TV. Yeah. But for those that are tuning in for the first time, describe 13 Strings for us.
Well, it's 13 strings. But
You're pretty much right.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, you're dead on. Yeah.
I'll make sure I count during the rehearsal that there's actually 13 strings. But some of the players I've worked with before, Julian Armour on cello, and the violinists, and some of them are members of the National Arts Centre Orchestra, and some others are freelance musicians in the Ottawa area. But it's a reputable group across. I mean, I knew about the 13th strings many years ago, and also the conductor, who I haven't worked with before, but I really admire his work, and I've seen him live in performance, is Kevin Malone, and he's also an excellent musician, a violinist himself, but he enjoys his conducting career. So I'm really looking forward, finally, to working with the group.
Yeah, it is a great group. We know Kevin and Julian well. Kevin's just a pleasure to watch as he conducts, and
yes.
really looking forward to this upcoming concert. Thanks so much for joining us, Beverley. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. Again, a reminder, that's happening October the 18th at Carleton Dominion Chalmers Centre. That is at 7:30 p.m., 13strings.ca. For more information, we'll be right back after this.